Members, we are still under privileges of the floor. Senator Lara from the Pro Tem's desk.
Thank you, Madam President. It gives me great pleasure today to welcome a delegation of young leaders from countries in the Near East and North Africa. The theme of their 3-week program in the United States is Rise, Renew, Inspire, Serve, and Empower. This diverse delegation is comprised of former Olympian athletes, community activists, healthcare professionals, young leaders, educators, development officers, and journalists. These talented individuals perform remarkable work within their communities. They organize advocacy campaigns, host radio shows, and produce influential news programs. Through their commendable efforts, they have created positive change that can be felt not only within their own countries, but around the world. During their stay in the United States, they will examine American leadership and social empowerment and other facets of our society that they can take back home to develop and strengthen their communities. Please join me in welcoming our honored guest to the California State Capitol.
Welcome to your Senate floor. Members, we will be returning to Senate third reading, specifically item 55. Senator Pan. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 92 by Senator Pan relative to Korean American Day.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I present to you Senate Concurrent Resolution 92, which recognizes January 13th, 2016 as Korean American Day. This celebration commemorates the day when Korean immigration began back in 1903. Although economic and social hardships were faced, the Koreans have overcome with their diligence and fortitude and are now one of the fastest growing groups of Asian Americans in the United States. The Korean American community continues to grow and make large contributions in many fields of finance, technology, law, and many other areas. Please join me in celebrating Korean American Day. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. Bates. Bell. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Weso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. Monning. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. Vidak. I. Wachowski. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Wachowski, I. Wolk, I. Anderson, I. Bates. Bell. I. Hall. I. Pavley. I. Stone.
Ayes 38, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Members, we're going to move back quickly to motions, resolutions, and notices. Without objection, Senate Rule 55 will be suspended to allow lobbyists on the floor. Under privileges of the floor, Senator De Leon. Senator De Leon.
Now settle down, folks, settle down. Thank you very much, Mr. President, colleagues, this is one of those very few moments when you get to feel a little giddy and you have those goosebumps that you sort of feel all over your body. And it is with great honor and privilege to introduce Mr. Jerry West to the California State Senate. One of the most successful and respected figures in the history of the National Basketball Association, the NBA, Jerry West joined the Golden State Warriors as the executive board member on May 20th, 2011. In his role, West assists the team's ownership group and represents the organization in a wide variety of team-related functions, ranging from basketball operations to business, sponsorship, as well as marketing. Mr. West, also known as Mr. Clutch, as so many fans know him today, owns a list of accomplishments both as a player as well as a front office executive that is unmatched in league history. This includes 9 NBA championships, 1 for himself as a player for the 71-72 Los Angeles Lakers, 7 as the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, and the last one coming just last year with the Golden State Warriors. That is 9 total NBA championships. Along with the incredible list of accomplishments as a wonderful, a great basketball player as well as executive. He has 2 NBA Executive of the Year awards, 14 NBA All-Star appearances, 10 first-team All-NBA selections. He's been elected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, and he has been named one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. And I can tell you that the list goes on and on, including the fact that if you look at the logo for the National Basketball Association, that is nonetheless no other than Mr. Clutch. That is Jerry West, when you look at that logo on the NBA. And as a Lakers a fan myself as well, as so many of us here on this floor, he was the chief architect responsible for bringing in Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal to the Los Angeles Lakers. And it is particularly very special for many folks on this Senate floor to have him here today. Because even though we're celebrating a rival team's championship, we're nonetheless proud of Jerry West and who he is and what he stands for. It is no stretch to say that Jerry West was a generational talent, and he continues to shake up the sport of basketball in his current capacity with the Golden State Warriors. Jerry has been an integral part of what today is probably the best front office, no doubt about it, in the NBA. As much as I hate to say it, but the reality is we have to respect excellence. And you have brought your excellence from the Lakers, your skill set, your abilities to the Golden State Warriors, and obviously it has paid off in something that's real and tangible. Obviously it's something that you can not touch, but something that you can see, you know. So aside from the prowess as a player, league executive, Mr. Jerry West is also very active in his community. On behalf of the California State Senate, Jerry, it is indeed my honor to welcome you. Congratulations to you, to the whole Warriors organization, as the very well-deserved championship and a historic start to the 2016 season. I want to give a special shout out to an Angelino, which is Mr. Peter Guber, who is part owner of the Golden State Warriors from Los Angeles. And then again, colleagues, let's give him a resounding welcome from the California State Senate, Mr. Clutch himself, Mr. NBA, Jerry West.
Senator Leno on this item.
Order.
Members, if we can get some order in the chamber. Senator Leno is going to speak on this item.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know it's an understatement to say very exciting to have Jerry West with us today. And I think only Jerry West could overshadow the fact that we have the Golden State Warriors championship trophy in the House as well. And this championship trophy of the Warriors was just their second championship since the franchise moved from Philadelphia to the Bay Area in 1962. And with their record-breaking opening to this season, now with a leading record of 40-4, there's every hope and expectation that we'll see this trophy here yet again a year from now. So let me welcome Mr. West, along with the entire Warriors franchise, wishing you continued success and congratulations on the extraordinary accomplishment of last year. We know that you can do it again this year.
Thank you. On this item, Senator Lonnie Hancock.
Well, as the sort of place where the Holden team is still playing, the city of Oakland and the 9th Senate District, it is such a joy to have a legendary player here and to thank you for your work in helping make the Warriors such a legendary team. Truly, they give all of us in the state a reason to cheer every time they get out there and do amazing basketball. And one of the things I like best about them is their cheerful disposition, their cooperative way of playing together, which frankly, many of us could learn from in fields outside of basketball or even professional sports. So thank you, welcome, and it's an honor to have you here with us today.
Senator Gaines, on this item.
Yes, again, I'd like to thank Jerry West and certainly congratulate the Warriors for their success. And I've got to speak about the Sacramento Kings, though, and the success that we're seeing. Looks like we are in the 8th position for the playoffs. Hopefully we'll remain there. And my hope is that we would rise up the rankings, because I'm not sure we want the first round to be against the Golden State Warriors. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gaines. Senator Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I feel the need to channel our former colleague, Mark DeSaulnier. If you recall, both Mark and I are from Boston. And although we never rooted for Jerry West, back in the days of Bill Russell and Bob Cousy and all those fellas that Jerry West played against with such extraordinary success, it is absolutely impossible not to appreciate the brilliance of your game, even though, as I said, as a native Bostonian who rooted and still does, sadly, for the Boston Celtics, you have been an extraordinary role model, competitor, victor, and I think on behalf of my colleague, Senator DeSaulnier, who's now in Congress and also a Bostonian, we can only salute you and thank you for the great sportsmanship you demonstrate as a player, as management. The reflection of your success is obviously here today. Congratulations.
Senator Monning, on this item.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's indeed a great honor to host the Warriors Trophy and the legend Jerry West here on the Senate floor. I have the distinction of having grown up in Los Angeles. I was an LA Lakers fan. My dad took me to games at the sports arena where we watched Mr. Clutch and Elgin Baylor and others clean house in the old LA sports arena. In fact, I was such a fan of Jerry West that I fought and won the right to wear the jersey number 44 in my high school in Southern California. And Mr. West was gracious enough to inscribe my book that I highly recommend, West by West, from 44 to 44, he said. Mr. West shows not only his incredible prowess as a player and a manager in leading LA teams and the LA Lakers, but realizing maybe later in life that a move north to Northern California and now bringing that skill and that experience to leading the Golden State Warriors. And just as my center of gravity moved north, and I'm now an avid Warriors fan, we are glad to have a Warriors champion here today on the Senate floor. Members, please join me in thanking him for a distinguished career, his leadership, and the wisdom to come to the Warriors. Thank you.
Again, members, welcome. Welcome to Mr. West, and congratulations to the entire Dub Nation. Members, we're going to return back to Senate third reading. We're returning back to Senate third reading, starting with file item 56. Senator Glazer, are you prepared to take up this item? Secretary, please read.
Senate Joint Resolution 15 by Senator Glazer relative to the Confederate States of America.
Senator Glazer.
Members, a few days ago, we celebrated on this Senate floor the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, his 50th birthday. And due to the generosity of the Vice Chairman of the Black Caucus, we were all given a wonderful book celebrating his life and his words. And I had the opportunity to read it, and it refreshed my memory of some of the wonderful things that he said. And he said something 50 years ago at the end of the march from Selma to Montgomery that is as relevant today as when he said it back then. He talked about the race baiters that were in the political arena, and he asked the question, how long will it take? How long till they're not there anymore? And he answered it by saying, not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long and it bends towards justice. SJR 15 acknowledges that there's work still to be done in fixing the moral universe. And this legislation doesn't attempt to rewrite anything about history. It simply says that America should not honor those leaders of the Confederacy who swore an oath to break up our country to defend slavery. So today, members on the floor, we play a part in that moral universe. And I ask that we continue to have it bend towards justice by voting yes on this measure. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? There is an objection. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. No. Morrell. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Wykowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Bates. Fuller. Gaines. Liu. I. Morrell. Nilsson. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Vidak, aye.
Ayes 31, noes 2. The resolution is adopted. Senator Bates is absent today. File item 58, Senator Leyva. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 66 by Senator Leyva, an act relating to career technical education.
Senator Leyva.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, members. I rise today to present Senate Bill 66. This bill aims to streamline and improve career technical education programs at the California community colleges by improving data collection and updating reporting requirements. Workforce training at the community college level is a very important issue. The Public Policy Institute of California estimates that our state will face a labor shortage of 1.5 million workers with some college education by the year 2025. Workers with some college will earn between 20 and 30% more than workers with only a high school diploma. Trained workers with jobs in high-growth sectors, such as healthcare practitioners and technicians, earn on average $27 more per hour than they would earn with only a high school diploma. In 2014, the California Community College Board of Governors commissioned the Task Force on Workforce Development and Job Creation and a Strong Economy to help address this skills gap. The task force, consisting of representatives from community colleges, the business community, labor groups, public agencies involved in workforce training, K-12 policymakers, and community-based organizations, spent a year convening town halls and regional group meetings to develop policy recommendations designed to improve career technical education in the community college system. SB 66 addresses 2 of these recommendations that require legislative fixes. Specifically, require the California Department of Consumer Affairs to make licensure information available to the California Community College Chancellor's Office for the purpose of matching students and evaluating the outcomes of career technical education programs. Second, align state accountability reporting requirements with the Federal Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act to remove reporting insufficiencies for programs receiving multiple sources of funding. SB 66 makes small but important changes that will help improve our career technical education programs and help ensure that we train our students for the jobs that California needs. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, a better discussion on this item. Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I urge an aye vote. This will be consistent with the master plan of higher education, acknowledging and supporting that historic guideline of the mission, goals, and interrelationships of the 3 levels of higher education. This acknowledging the function, one of the functions of the community colleges, and in fact strengthening it, that the role of career tech ed for the community colleges, allowing there be a greater focus, a greater opportunity for matriculation, and more excellence in those career tech programs. And maybe one of my dreams could be helped along the way, and that is CSU and UC then embracing rather than shunning career tech ed students. Because some of those career tech ed students will want to go higher in their careers, be entrepreneurs in their own right, or elevate themselves in that particular profession or career. Others will just want to improve themselves as they can in career tech ed. I think of late that career tech ed is now deemed much more important. The governor and the legislature in the last 2 budgets have acknowledged that. And this is yet another positive step. I urge and I vote for career tech ed.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0, the measure passes. Moving on to item 59, Senator Wesso. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 745 by Senator Wesso, enacting to telecommunications.
Senator Wesso.
Thank you, Mr. President. As the Senate representative on the California Broadband Council, I am working with my fellow colleagues on the council to increase broadband deployment and eliminate the digital divide by expanding broadband accessibility, illiteracy, adoption, and usage in the state of California. We can all agree that broadband connectivity has become an essential part of daily life in the 21st century, from accessing a job to connecting to the global economy to getting everyday news. It's become more important in conducting research in schools, connecting with family, and using and accessing medical assistance to a number of other activities. Unfortunately, many of the residents of our state continue to lack these opportunities because they live in areas that have no broadband service or are limited in the ability to access broadband due to the cost of equipment and service. SB 745 is a bill that will require the California Public Utilities Commission to provide additional information in its annual report to the legislature of the California Advanced Services Fund, including county-level data and efforts to leverage other resources. We have to be informed as a legislature as to what our local agencies are doing to leverage our limited funds with other funds that are available through other funding sources, and to create a plan to marry these funds together to finalize the network of broadband connectivity. I urge you to support this bill in an effort to continue to work on this very important endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator West. So, members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. Vidak. I. Wykowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
Bates. Gaines. Morlock. I. Stone.
Ayes 36, noes 1, the measure passes. Moving on to file item 60, Senator Pan. Secretary, please read.